Hurry up, hands up.
Yeah.
I'd like to call the monthly board meeting of the county board to order. Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here. As I noted earlier before the meeting started, Carl is not going to be with us today, so be advised of that. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Certainly. Bruner.
Here.
Ellis.
Here.
Farnham. Lawton.
Here.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Voigt.
Here. We do have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the October 13th regular meeting and amend the minutes from August 11th that we approved last meeting. The reason for that is we went into exec session to approve or disapprove the release of closed meeting minutes, and that was not reflected in that particular proposed minutes last meeting for the 11th. So we're amending that approval to include those that procedure. We did vote on that and we're leaving it closed. Is that correct, Mr. Clerk?
That, all of that is correct. In addition, we did come out of closed session and we approved the settlement based on council.
Okay,
And that, just coming out of closed session and going back into open, it was inadvertently missed when I was typing the minutes. So that absolutely is on me. So that's all we've done is added the last paragraph in your August 11 minutes. It just basically says that.
any questions about that? Could I have a motion to approve the October 13th regular meeting minutes and the amended minutes from August 11th regular meeting? Phil moves. Andy seconds. Would you call the roll on that,
Certainly.
please?
Okay. Bruner.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
And Patrick.
Yes.
Normally, we don't do that, but since we're amending, I thought that would be appropriate. Claims against the county. You've had that for a few days. Are there any questions about the claims against the county? Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve those claims, please? Mr. Bruner moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It does carry. County board claims, you've had those for a few days. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve those claims. Phil moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They do carry. I'm going to go out of order to highlight the budget a little bit. We'll come back and lay it for public observation, but I wanted to highlight the budget initiatives or the program initiatives that we've been working on, and it has been reported from time to time, but I wanted to highlight some of the new things that the budget is going to address. And it seems timely because of some of the issues that have popped up in this community and in this county over the last several weeks. Everybody's talking about the slew of break-ins, the issues that it represents, the problems that the justice system has in addressing them. And a lot of the initiatives in the budget, the new ones address that. And you folks, the board has been talking to, the judges, the sheriff, public defender, state's attorney, HRC, the city mayor, city police, the hospital, and we've been working on initiatives in the budget that will unclog, we hope, the judicial system so that we can more firmly address and adequately address some of the needs that we have in the community to get a handle on it. And when I say community, I mean the county also. The criminal justice system is made up of the judges, of course, Angie's office, the circuit clerk, probation, the state's attorney. And I want to remind everybody that we need to we have been working with these folks. We can't dictate to them because they're elected officials, but we all can address these issues together maturely and help each other, and that's what we're trying to do. To that end, we're still, and what predicated all of this stuff is the jail studies. We started looking at the jail and realizing that just building a new jail or even fixing up the old jail wasn't going to solve a lot of problems. In our investigation, the board found that having a full-time assistant state's attorney and a full-time public defender that could mesh their schedules and effectively, just in this county, work with people that are going through the system and adjudicate them on time rather than having them just kicked out of the system and not being addressed was important. The budget does that. For the first time ever in this county, the state's attorney, the assistant state's attorney, and the public defender will be full-time starting the first of the year. That's very important. Several of you have been working with HRC on mental health and drug counseling, as well as other things. And we're working with them. We're going to assist them in having some permanent staff members training to a level where they can work with some of these folks early on before they have problems. We can't mandate it. The judicial system can't say you need to go to drug counseling. But we can do that. If you go to drug counseling, then we'll revisit your sentence or whatever's going on and be part of the system. But we haven't been able to do that. This is going to allow us to do it because of the commitment in the budget to helping HRC along with other things that we can do. We're still continuing to look at architecturally the jail and our needs here. We need to have a proper place to incarcerate and to deal with criminals or people working through the judicial system, as well as counseling and some of the other things. That will also improve our relationship with the city and helping us work together. They are a partner in this. We have committed now, 2 meetings ago, of course it was unofficial, we wanted to go to 8 deputies. We're very close to that right now. I don't know whether there's any new, but I have talked to leadership in the sheriff's office, and they're very close to having the 8th deputy on board. So we have, at the time the referendum passed on the sales tax, the safety tax, I think we only had, 5 or 6 deputies? So we have moved forward with our commitment to those issues. There's a lot more things that the budget is doing, but the highlights of it are directed at the justice system here in the county. Obviously, Don's office and Augie's office and Supervisor of Assessment and the other offices that aren't represented here are doing a good job. And they are because of the good job they're doing, it makes it possible for us to do other things, knowing that those things are well under control. So we want to thank everybody. Do you guys have any comments? I've talked too much, but I wanted to highlight, because I know it's every place I go, I hear literally breakfast this morning, breakfast yesterday morning, dinner the other night. It doesn't matter where I go. On the street, we hear, what are we going to do?
Sounds like they eat too much.
Well, I do eat too much, but at any rate, given that we can't order certain things done, we still, by working together and cooperating and building alliances, we're gonna be able to do things, or at least try to do things and improve the county. So I'll shut up.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind. Okay, we're gonna increase the, help with prosecutors and so on.
Right,
Does that mean that there's gonna be an opportunity to prosecute more people?
absolutely.
That's the
That was,
intent.
remember when Mark came to us here, what is it, 2 months ago or 3 months ago?
Have help.
And explained, and then the article in the paper, how
That's
we're all
the main-
clogged
One of
up.
the big reasons why they can't get to that is because of the lack of help.
Yeah, and I mean, what did he say, there was 400 or 500 cases at any
Yeah.
one time?
Yeah, and
And
they
it's just-
try to negotiate to get rid of them because you can't prosecute them.
It doesn't mean that plea bargaining is still not gonna happen, but it may be more effective because of the public defender. A lot of times, with us sharing, the public defender would be up here and the assistant state's attorney would be down there. They never, nothing could ever get done. So, at any rate, without getting into specifics of individuals, we do have an acceptance on the assistant state's attorney. Our current one is gonna be here full-time, and will start in that function the first of the year. We had somebody lined up to be the appellate, or the public defender. That fell through, but there are we have 3 other people that have expressed interest and have a wide-ranging experience that we're gonna look to here in the next week or 2 and try to get them signed on and get them started the first of the year. These are really imperative things to unclog the system, so we stop hearing that, well, we're not effective and we're not gonna do anything because we can't run them through the court system. We need to get away from that. We need to draw the line and say, from now on, we're all gonna try to make this work, okay? Yes?
Can we talk about a combination of sheriff's department, police department, and having some type of task force combination that could work together?
We did, obviously, we had passed the Major Crimes Task Force, but because of some of the issues that our partner has right now, they have been unable to effectively participate in that. That's still something that we would like to see happen.
Right.
We have to carefully navigate how, jurisdictions and so forth
Right.
to make sure that we're handling everybody with respect and quite frankly, not stepping on toes. We don't want to make more problems than we already have,
Right.
okay? But we need to get that mindset that the system is coming out of its lethargic attitude, I love that word, and moving into a productive system. So I wanted to highlight that ahead of other things so that, that's what this is all about. That's what we're all about, and the board has been extremely committed to that this past year and beyond, and I congratulate you. So, are there any comments or questions from the board? Okay, moving into public comment. We ask that you maintain 5 minutes for your comment. If you would identify yourself, we'd appreciate it. We don't need to know where you're from, but if you'd identify yourself. And if you'd like to step up to the rostrum there, it's available. Are there any public comments? Yes, sir.
Steve York,
Hi,
I would
Steve.
like for you not to support wind farms because I've looked at them in other counties and to me, they're just ugly.
Okay, Steve. We have at this point a committee that will be readdressing that. We have stepped up and expanded what the setback, which it makes it near impossible, but we're going to be studying that further to make sure that we've adequately addressed. The board feels, at least at this point, this current 7-member board agrees with you, okay?
Awesome. And also, I'm glad you brought up the point with the working together on the crime. That's an awesome thing you guys did.
Well,
Thank you.
we've got a lot of work to do, but at least we're trying, okay? Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Anybody else? Okay. Then, moving along, we've got the, accept the letter from IDOT which is a receipt of our audit for township bridge funds, disbursements and receipts from 2018 through 2013 through 18. We want to make sure that everybody recognizes. I guess we could have a motion to accept. Russ moves, Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So the clerk will put all of that in the permanent record of the county, okay? Okay, next, and I've kind of shot my time on that one, but resolution to approve budget and levy for fiscal year beginning December 1st, 21 and ending November 30th, 22. Basically, what we're doing is approving it to put it on display for how many days? 3 weeks?
It'll be 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Then we'll come back at the last board meeting, the day before Thanksgiving, and formally approve the budget and levy, and then it'll become appropriate, or will it become law. So, are there any questions on the budget? I know you've had it for, what, about a month in its entirety? There was a couple of changes that we suggested. For example, Carl said that the 6,000 should come out of the coroner's budget. That was done. We beefed up another budget, so if we wanted to make some promotions, we could do that. That's all been done. It is a positive budget to the tune of about 30 grand in total budget, and I know Gary, you'll probably want to go over this, is $12,500 million, or $12,500,000, and that covers a lot of different agencies, but that's the entirety. A motion to put the budget and levy on display, and that was made by Phil. Dan seconds. Any further discussion? Approve and place on display, I guess I should say. All those roll call, please.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington,
Yes.
and Patrick.
Yes.
It does carry. Thank you, folks. Approve, or a resolution to approve amended reapportionment plan. Augie?
Okay, so we had our public hearing just this past Monday, as required by the law, which was the law before they changed it. Because the census was pushed back several months as far as releasing the numbers, they pushed the dates back of when counties need to reapportion due to population changes. And so rather than push back the dates, we went ahead and we approved a plan by the original due date back in July. But since then, the numbers have come out. You have in front of you an amended reapportionment plan. We went over that in our public hearing, and we also were required to draw by lots which terms would be applicable to each district. So in other words, 3 members will serve 2 years, 4 years, 4 years, and the other 4 districts will serve for a 4-year, 4-year, and a 2-year term. And I've included that updated resolution there at your seat. I handed that out early this morning, put it there. And all I did was added the terms. And so that's the reapportionment. The committee has met prior to the hearing, and it was decided that the districts will all remain the same. They were nearly equal, but not exactly the same, but not enough difference that would warrant a major redrawing of the district boundaries. So I think we're comfortable with that. That would be my recommendation. And I'll bring this up. Now, the original law says that we should approve this by the third Wednesday in November. You have to have your plan in place. Well, since then, as of last Friday, the General Assembly is what I'm trying to say. General
You get as
Assembly,
bad as me.
yeah, I'm listening to you, passed a new law that might significantly change your plan. In that they are requiring that counties increase the size of each precinct to 1,200 voters. The current law is 800. And in the 11 years that I've been here, we've had to split a couple of precincts because they got over 800 registered voters. Excuse me. So we split Paris 5 and made it 15, 5 and 4 precinct. We split Sims, and of course now we have Sims 1 and Sims 2. And so now what this legislation does is it basically puts it all back together after we had split it apart. And trying to redraw the precinct lines to accommodate 1,200 is no easy task. You recall those little handheld puzzles that have like little squares, and you push one down and slide another one over, and then you come up one. You all know what I'm talking about? That's about like what this is going to be until you get lucky enough to hit the right number. So at this point, I'm not going to say every precinct will be changed, but I think in the end, every precinct boundary line is subject to change. And I think it's totally unnecessary. I've spoken with other county clerks who agree with me. Now, there are some counties who like the fact that they can increase the size of their polling places. Those are larger counties. There are economies of scale with that. But right now, our county is operating just very smoothly. We have it set up. It functions well, and now we are being told that we have to fix something that's not broken. And so it's another mandate. And now the wording in the bill says that we need to increase those precinct sizes as near as practicable. And so that word, in my opinion, is up for discussion. And I have my own personal thoughts and feelings about this, redrawing the precincts, but certainly at the end, it's the board's decision. So now I've rambled that on because you'll pass your apportionment plan, would be my recommendation, and then we can always come back and amend it. The governor has not signed this bill into law as of yesterday, to my knowledge, and I don't know, unless there's a lot of pressure, I don't see that that's going to change. I mean, I don't think the law is going to change, but I would just I'd pass the reapportionment plan, and I'd sit tight till we hear a little bit more about the change in the precincts. That's a lot that I just said. Did anybody have any questions?
Okay. All right, so we're just gonna go forward like the governor won't or hasn't signed it, and we'll just go from there. Motion to approve this resolution. Lisa, my
Get the
goodness,
camera out.
step right up there, girl.
Hold me up.
And who would like to second
Oh, I
that?
got it. It's got
Oh,
me.
okay, Phil is on this.
I wanna be on record with her.
Anything else to discuss on this issue? Would you please call the roll, Augie?
Glad to. Bruner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
And Patrick.
Yes.
It does carry, thank you. And thank you for that report, Augie. You'll have that verbatim in the minutes, right?
Absolutely.
Alright. Okay, we have to approve a donation, if you so would like, to help restore the war memorial on the east side of the courthouse. Does anybody have a motion to, what, 1,000?
Right.
With the understanding that, and I don't know how you want to word this, Augie, that if there's anything else that they need or are having difficulties, they will revisit it. But our initial donation would be $1,000. Who would like to second that after Phil? That'd be Andy is seconding that. Phil made the motion. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Bruner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
And Patrick.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Next is to approve bond for Kevin Smith, Commissioner, Drainage District Number 1, the town of Young America in the county of Edgar in the state of Illinois. Movement? Dan? Russ? Any further discussion? Do we need a roll call on that, or is that a,
Well, no, it's just a formality.
all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, approve the amended 22 holiday calendar applicable to all non-union employees except for the court system. Basically, we're gonna have two schedules, one for the court system, which will include Angie's office, the judge's office, and probation. Everybody else that's a non-union would be covered by what we're going to approve today is amended, and the unions would be as they're provided in their thing. So everybody's going to wind up with 14 days of vacation, or I mean of holiday. Okay. Motion to approve or to amend. Lisa? Dan? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Approve advertisement of bids for professional engineering services for future airport projects. We have 3 projects that are currently not covered, so we're gonna be advertising, Tom Tuttle will take care of that. We'll advertise through aeronautics and locally, and that'll be done, and then we'll move forward. A motion to approve the advertisement for bids. Russ? Andy? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Next, resolution for treasurer to transfer 40 grand from the farm fund to the general fund. It's an annual event, so anybody would like to make a motion or has a question on the resolution? Andy moves. Anybody seconds? Russ seconds. Any further discussion? Okay, Augie?
Bruner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Okay, that does carry. Next resolution, authorizing treasurer to transfer 6 grand out of the animal control rabies fund to the general fund. Again, housekeeping. Motion to approve. Andy moves. Dan seconds. Would you call the roll when you can?
Yes. Bruner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington. Patrick.
Yes.
Does carry. Next, resolution authorizing treasurer to transfer $4,000 from the dog fund to the general fund. Again, housekeeping. Motion to approve resolution. Andy again. A second, please. Phil seconds. Andy, sorry. Augie, when you get a chance, please.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis, Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
And Patrick.
Yes.
Okay. Now we come to the, is there any other, did I get everything squared up to 17? Didn't miss anything. Okay. Would the department head elected official reports? Augie?
Yeah, I said pretty much what I need to say, as much as I probably dare to say since we're on camera, but, we're busy. I mean, there's always something going on in the clerk's office, so. No, other than that, I'm always available for questions at any time. Anybody wants to talk about it. Oh, I did visit with the State Board of Elections yesterday, and they should be finishing up the official calendar for next year's election cycle, as well as the candidates guide. So they'd indicated they hope by mid-November, couple weeks, that should be ready. So I'll have those up on the website as soon as they become available.
Any questions of Augie?
Oh, I got one more thing. I'm sorry.
Please.
I'm not used to going first.
I know, I want to put you on the spot.
Also, at your seat, I gave you an email from Jeremy Larson, District 95 Superintendent. He's put together a directory of businesses, schools, what have you, government, and there's a website, well, not a website, I'm sorry. You can contact District 95, and he will email you that listing. It's like a yellow pages, but it's just nice, neat, and in order. So I want to say thank you to Jeremy. That was a big project that they undertook, and I think it's going to be a very valuable resource to have on hand when you need to contact somebody. So that's at your seat.
Thank you, Aug.
Yep.
Don?
Hello. I welcome myself back after not being around for a while. I know no one at the table's gonna welcome me, but anyway, you've got your report. Needless to say, we broke that threshold last month because cash flows, it's just an awkward situation depending on when the board meetings are. We had a lot of this, all the state money in by last month's board meeting. This month, happening to have the one right at the first week, we don't have any state payments yet. Last month, we got around $250,000 in state payments, which enabled us to get in the black, I guess is the right terminology. I foresee by the end of the month, we only have one more payroll and then one more accrued payroll that's gonna hit. We will be fine. We should be in the black, and especially after all the accruing that's gonna be done of more money coming in. The state is fairly on top of their timing as far as getting the payments to us, a lot different than it was several years ago. We had our tax sale last Thursday, which means any taxes that were not paid by the owners were paid by tax buyers, some of them professional, some of them local. There was a total of 12 participating. There was only 181 parcels that went through, and that is within the normal range. We've been as low as 120 some, and up to, one time there's over 200, I'd call that an outlier that one year, but, so I'm saying that kind of business as usual when it comes to collecting. We're at over 99.7% collected. We'll be having a distribution hopefully by the end of next week, which will be most of the money that all the taxing districts will get. There will still be a final distribution which involves prorated interest, back taxes, housing authority, things like that that normally hit on the last final distribution. I have put the projected amounts on the report. I do foresee the auditor starting to lay the groundwork into this month or first of next month, so just keep in mind, things are gonna start leaning towards the audit, and we all need to, if you have any loose ends that you need to, anything that needs to be filed or updated or whatever, please get on that. I will be doing a lot of the accruing, but we're going to let the auditors do some of it this year. They're saying we're one of the few counties where they don't do it. And I guess I'm just one of these guys that I want the numbers, I want hands-on on the numbers to make sure that they're right. I just gotta have to accept myself that I can't do it. I can't do it all. I need their help. So, we'll be doing that. I'd like to thank the board for recognizing the fact that I really needed another full-time person because of many things. Since 2011, when one person resigned, we've only been maintaining myself and one other full-time employee. Yes, we've had lots of part-time help, but now that we have another full-timer in there, we're going to be able to delegate certain responsibilities, even though we do a lot of cross-training. We're going to be able to hopefully be more punctual and more able to keep our sanity during the busier times. I will still, of course, still have part-timers, but it's time to move forward on that. One thing I'm just going to throw out there, I haven't even mentioned this to Jeff. Every so often I hear someone mention about a drive-up window for the treasurer's office.
You have talked to me about that.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I'm not saying it can't be done. I can see where it would benefit some of your seniors not having to get out of the car and whatever. They can just pull right in, similar to picking up medication at pyramids. But I would entertain the thought if you ever wanted to discuss it. My concerns are, one, making sure we don't block, like anything else, you might be tending to block the walkway, the sidewalk. The other thing is, you don't realize how much traffic is in that north-south alley behind our building. And I've seen people creep through there, I've seen people walk through there, and I've seen people just downright fly through there. And I would just be very concerned about that. So, just thought I'd throw that out there in case somebody approaches you saying, I don't know why the treasurer hasn't accommodated us for not having, because a lot of times it just so happens the second installment due date was Honeybee Festival weekend. You don't think about that, but there was no parking. And a lot of people came in early and paid, saying, I knew there wouldn't be a place to park. Well, you can't think of everything. So, other than that, are there any questions from anybody? Any comments?
I want to spring a couple things on you,
Okay.
get even with you.
Okay.
Number one, would you discuss, or can you discuss with the auditors the possibility of you doing, or somebody in your office doing, the commissary for the jail? And how, I'm not saying just explore to see how difficult it would be. It would save us about $3,500 if they feel like it would be, or maybe some combination of you and them to reduce our obligations, since they got everything set up. It might be just a check-off year to see if things are being done the right way now. I'm just saying, whatever works.
Yeah, when I worked at the department, I was in charge of commissary, so I kind of knew the ins and outs of it, but I think things have changed quite a bit since then, so, yeah, I would,
At least explore it with you,
yeah,
okay?
see where, yeah, that's not a problem. May I ask who's taking care of it now?
Yeah, they did it last year.
Oh, the auditors did,
They did the audit,
okay,
and we paid, I don't know, $3,000 for them to be done.
okay, so how, I
They
guess,
went to, go ahead.
how, I guess, if we're gonna be involved in it, how is that gonna save money? They're still gonna have to audit it, aren't they, or?
No, they won't. There's forms you fill out,
Oh, okay.
okay? The state allows, by law, for the treasurer or an auditor to do those. I still think that every couple of years, we ought to have it totally audited, but they could at least show you, and you could see whether you felt comfortable in doing it. I understand there's a form. But since we definitely felt the first year, since it hadn't been done, since it was mandated, what, he left. 16 or 17, it was required, and we hadn't done it till last year. So we felt it best to have somebody come in and do it
Okay.
appropriately. Now, if they tell you what it is and you don't feel comfortable, just asking you to take a look at it.
Okay.
Okay. They won't have to do anything if you do it.
Okay, I'm in agreement with exploring that.
That's all. The other option is that you and I have not talked about the retirement fund to see if we can afford even to put any money to pay ahead to save us interest this year.
Right, that saves us 7% of whatever the balance is as of December 31st.
That's IMRF. And I don't know whether we made one last year, but historically, we probably made payments in excess of $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
Since Carla and I have been on the board.
That one year, we did a $400,000 payment, which saved us $27,000 in interest.
So if you'd look at that and see what's appropriate, if you don't feel comfortable again that we should do anything, I mean, we have to maintain a cash balance so that, because we don't collect taxes till July or August of next year, so we have to have enough surplus in that account to cover. But if you find that we can, I mean, even 50 grand, you know, that's 3,500 bucks that we don't have to shell out in interest.
Well, we've come a long way on what we were underfunded, but I know we make a monthly contribution
But
supplemental.
But that keeps falling,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, yes, I can look into that.
Any questions of Don? All right. Thank you, Don. Jill, do you have anything?
No, not really. Just a reminder, our second hazard mitigation meeting is December 7th at 5 at the Farm Bureau.
And there'll be a thing,
Yes.
because I
Everybody
might
will be
forget
contacted.
by then.
Yep, we'll do it.
Dina?
Well, I don't know if you all are keeping in touch with the national news about the housing market boom, but that is happening right here in Edgar County. Last month, we processed 130 transactions, which actually conveyed 188 parcels. We're seeing homes selling the same day they're listed. We're seeing homes selling higher than what they're listed for. So what that means for us is we're trying to bump those assessments to keep up with the market that we're seeing. We're seeing sales ratios of anywhere between 24 and 28%, and we're supposed to be at 33 1/3. I'm beginning to fear for the first time in years, Edgar County will see a multiplier. At a mandatory education training I had to go to, the professor said that he would not be surprised if most counties were receiving a multiplier because of this boom in housing. So we're being cautious while we're trying to gently bump these assessments up to keep up with the market. We don't know if this is a COVID thing, if this is a supply and demand with construction. we're being cautious. I don't wanna go crazy and have assessments bumped up and then turn around and see it plummet in another couple of years or so. So we had very grave discussions in the office about how to handle the public when reassessment notices go out. They're gonna be angry if they go up, and then to top that off, if we have a multiplier from the state to raise them even higher, we have to explain that to them. So we're just letting you know if you have taxpayers approach you and say, what are they doing in there? We're doing our best to keep up with the market. Another thing, you might think, well, whatever it sells for, just take it to sale price. But what it sells for, the state looks at how we had it assessed the prior year. So we're currently trying to create assessments guessing what they're gonna sell for in the next year, because sale price, previous year assessment is how they compare. So it's a very difficult thing to keep up with, but we do monitor every sale, every listing. We're doing our best, so. And on the bright side, I did make arrangements at Pierman's Pharmacy and March to all of 5 employees. We've all had a flu shot, so we got that going for us.
Questions, Dina? Okay. Thank you. Adam, do you have anything to add to your report from last Monday?
AEDs, the rest of those will be going out today, so as the treasurer's office, and I'm gonna try to catch the animal shelter if they're there. We'll still have those 2 remaining to be placed for the future at your discretion. With those, I'll tell everyone, I've told the sheriff's department whenever they drop off these, there is a prescription, so to speak, that you actually fill out online. It's just, no one will ever ask for it, it's just to keep everything legal if something should happen. I would recommend that there be a master copy of serial numbers kept somewhere. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide what to do with that. On the ambulance side, I've been approved to purchase some additional equipment to keep us, I mean, right now, we pretty much have the latest and greatest of everything, but I wanna keep up with that trend, so we are purchasing a few more pieces of equipment to keep not just the staff with the latest and greatest equipment, but also provides the highest level of care for the community as well. So we're very fortunate to be able to do that. But other than that, I have nothing else.
Can we circle back? Do the individual departments that have the AEDs have to go online and do that? Or are you gonna
Yeah.
help, or how are they,
So
how do they know that they have to?
when I do my initial training, I go through all the paperwork, but it is a very simple process. You go online, basically register it, put in a certain code it gives you, and it actually gives you a medical prescription. Since it is a medical device, it has to have a prescription with it. Like I said, no one will ever ask to see that, but in the chance occasion someone ever should, it's just kept in the back of the unit. So.
It is kept, should we keep a copy somewhere for all of them, or is that necessary?
It wouldn't be the worst idea, but again, I'll leave that to your discretion.
Well, I hate to stick that on somebody, but I
I
don't
believe
know.
there should be a master list of county-owned, and it represents a significant investment on you guys' part, so.
We need to think about how we wanna handle that, guys.
There's 2 sets of pads, one is a pediatric pad, one is an adult pad. I forget which one, one is good till 2023, the other is good till 2025. So you guys won't have any additional cost until at least 23 when those 1 set of pads needs replaced.
Okay,
But there's no annual inspection or anything like that?
There isn't, once a year we'll come out, check it, make sure everything's good. Between us and the fire department, we have a working relationship to check all the ADs in the community, so we take care of that at no cost. The only cost to you guys comes whenever those pads do expire. There is a cost to replace those. If they are used in actual patient care, then the hospital will purchase pads for you and replace those at no cost, since you are using those for the betterment of the community.
If you need a guinea pig, I volunteer my chief deputy, Pam.
We're
I'm
kinda
gonna
slow right
tell
now.
her.
I can have Aaron work on getting the master list.
I was gonna talk to you afterwards, but since you, can you
Mhm.
work
I
with
just
Adam
get a
on
list
that?
from him of who's got him or whatever.
So that way, and then make sure that Augie gets a copy.
Okay.
So
Of
on the invoice I gave you, the serial numbers are all listed at the bottom of
Oh,
that.
perfect.
So I will take I'm not sure which ones the sheriff's department got, but by process of elimination, the ones I still have, I can tell you which ones the sheriff's department
Okay.
haven't been the
All
rest
right.
of them.
Well, that just made it easier for everybody. Just tell us where they go and I keep records for the county on everything else, so,
Well, you guys coordinate that, so.
yeah, we'll work on it.
Yep. Okay,
Other than that, if you guys don't have anything for me, that's all I have.
thanks, Adam. Did I miss anybody here? Okay, we'll go to, committee reports. Phil, do you have anything?
Nope.
Andy, how you doing? I saw
Yeah, I did
where
too.
our guys here
Yeah, I
today.
didn't know what, I'm not sure what they were doing. When I came in, it's either be late or, so I saw him coming out of the room. I take it they're doing, it's something to do with the boiler. Just, and it could be as simple as just getting the thing started. Ray maybe said, hey, you can get
Well, that would be a good idea.
this. All right.
Is that Sycamore you saw?
Yeah.
And I was here early and I didn't see anybody, but I heard the clanging going on. I think it's a test fire.
That's kind of what
Is
I'm
what I
assuming
guess.
it is.
Well, that would be good as opposed to last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's sarcasm.
I
Okay.
know. And I haven't heard anything. I assume that they should have the boiler and everything going at the jail.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Now, we do have a sheriff's meeting tomorrow
Tomorrow.
morning at 10 o'clock out at the highway garage, okay? Or wherever I don't even know where they are, out at the highway garage.
Yeah.
I'm always doing that.
That's it.
Okay, the architects, and as soon as I know when they're coming in, they're gonna start some of their procedures for Coles County,
Okay.
the contract they have. I'll let you and who's Russ and Carl know, but it's somewhere around the 15th.
Good.
That's a Monday that week they're gonna be here. And we'll let you know in plenty of time and make sure
They're
everything's.
gonna start doing the 3D imaging and some of that.
I can't remember. He told me what they were coming to do and I'm sorry, I don't
Go ahead
remember.
and start some of that.
Yeah, and just to get it kicked off and get it started, and I'm sure you guys wanna know what's going on, okay? Let's see, Danny, cat report?
I still have a couple.
I saw online they were advertising a cat that was 6 months old, black and white.
I've got some,
No,
if you need any.
no, I've got 5, thank
I
you.
got all different colors too.
That's good.
Also have Siamese now, if you need a Siamese.
Good,
Uh,
all right.
The, Andrew's back from her quarantine, so things are running a little smoother out there.
Okay.
And, we're still having a little trouble with the voucher system, so maybe get something worked out with,
Well, that's your committee work. You
Right.
guys need to get together
now
and
we're gonna get together.
do whatever it takes to get that ironed out,
Right.
okay?
And then, she called yesterday and had some cages need repaired, so I told her go ahead and get them done.
Huh?
So, no,
Okay.
no, good shape.
Russ, do you have anything, sir? Lisa?
Nothing on HRC. Solar ordinance, the draft is done. Hopefully Russ and Derek and I will meet next week. I did get information from my family member who is in that business, and he gave me some good documentation too. So we'll be taking a look at that, and I hoped Wyatt was going to be here today, so I'll email him and ask him how long, if he could give me any estimate for how long Farm Bureau Legal would take to look at our draft.
Okay. And whenever you're available, just let me know. Maybe we can go over a few things.
Okay.
I mean, at your convenience. I think I've spoken enough. Do you guys have any yes?
One last question, Adam, these are gonna be considered the property of the county. We're gonna need to add that to our, as equipment for the auditors, what are they worth each?
Each unit was around $17.50.
$17.50?
But we got one for free.
I say, bought 17, got 18 for free technically. So.
Okay. I just thought I'd throw
All
that
of them
out there so we-
collectively were what, 30 grand, roughly?
Under,
28.
28.
27, 28, I believe.
I'll shoot you an invoice if you want it.
No, I just know that the auditors are gonna be seeking
that's
that from
fine.
somebody. I don't know if we provide them with a list of equipment or anything like that, I don't know.
That's fine.
Insurable. I assume insurable.
I don't know whether, how they would be covered. We can talk to JR. I figured we'd hear something from JR on our new, policy, costs, but I haven't yet. Have you heard anything, Augie?
I've not, no, not since the last email was he anticipated getting
This
some
week.
quote for us, yeah.
Yeah, this
So
week.
we still got a couple days.
That's fine.
I just checked the emails and there wasn't anything, so.
Some of the folks have talked to me, well, Pam and she was gonna talk to some other people to offer the insurance committee their input when you wanted to have meeting on insurance, specifically health insurance. I know and I explained to her that the committee has reached out for, employee participation, and it hasn't always been there. But she said that, she would pick up some people that would be committed to reviewing or making suggestions, okay, to the committee, so that there would be more input from the employees, and I don't have a problem with that. I hope I wasn't out of line
No,
saying.
not at all. I want,
So she said she would get back to you and me. You're chairman of the insurance committee, so I just wanted to make you aware of that.
okay.
And, you know, that thing, you never know how it's gonna be, although we don't have to address it till next October. Well, actually,
Well,
unless
we're gonna start a lot.
July, June and
Maybe
July,
even before that, cause we, yeah,
and before you know it, it'll be here,
right.
so. Is, there any need for a closed session? I'd like to have one briefly on personnel, if you don't mind. Does that impact anybody? Just quickly on personnel only. I don't think they have anything else. So a motion to go into closed session for personnel only. Andy, Russ, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Great meeting. We will come back into session afterwards. There won't be any action on that.
Okay.
Okay, we're back in session. Is there anything else to come before the meeting? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Andy moves. I got the hiccups. Russ seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you. We're adjourned.